Alright guys, this is another FSD 13.2.2 video, still not on 13.2.6. I'm relegated to this version seemingly forever. It has snowed in Canada quite a lot, so I'm going to try FSD in the snow for pretty much the first time. I used it a little bit yesterday, but this will be my first actual go with it. To be honest, I'll probably be taking over a lot because FSD doesn't understand snow. It will give red hands when it slips. It will make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to enable it right now from start, and we'll just kind of see how it does. Like I said, I'm going to be very ready to take over because at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to recover from a mistake if it's dry and the roads aren't slick. But if the car is going too fast and doing something, I can't really chance it with this. I think this road is going to be one of the worst ones just because it's a side road. We'll see, because I think the main roads will be pretty much this, which is a lot better. This is just a normal road, pretty much just wet. As we get closer to the destination, we might end up on a side road again, in which case we'll see how it does in the snow. I'll post a clip as well. So yesterday, or the day before, when it did snow, and I first went out to the car, I was honestly just trying to grab the GoPros from the trunk because I was trying to get footage off them. You'll see the door handle was frozen. I did eventually get in after the fact, so I'll play the clip right now if I haven't already. And you'll see just the design of the car, the way the handle is flush, which is good for aerodynamics, causes an issue where the snow and the ice will kind of build up on it. So it was hard for me to get in. I had been defrosting the car. If you watch the clip without me talking over it, you can hear the cars actively doing the defrost in the background. And I'd cleared the snow off it and everything, but there still just was that buildup of ice. I got in, it was fine. And then in the comments, I got kind of roasted for a few things. One of them being, I didn't realize that if you push on the small side, the left-hand side of the handle, it'll kind of break the ice, and then you can push on the right side to actually open it. So I tried that on the other three handles, made a huge difference. So if you live in a cold climate and you don't know that, I didn't realize, if you're ever stuck and you can't get in the car by pushing on the right-hand side of the handle like you normally would, push in the left side, you'll hear the ice break, and then you can open it with the left-hand side, or the right-hand side. But yeah, that was just funny because, like I said, I'd seen videos of that online before, and had never happened to me. But with that said, I mean, this morning it snowed again. Last night, half an hour before I left, I turned on the defrost, and basically all the snow had melted off the car. I just had to brush off a little bit on the hood and stuff because it doesn't melt there obviously as much. But it is amazing how well the defrost works. The car is warmed up, it's ready to go. Super handy to be able to do something like that from the app, whereas back in the day I would have to clear the car, get in it, start it, let it run, and then it still wouldn't have gotten up to temperature as efficiently. It was definitely a handy thing. I know a lot of modern vehicles, even gas cars, you can remote start, so just all of that is new for me because the car I had didn't have that. This unfortunately won't be as exciting as I'd hoped. I was thinking that these roads are going to be more snowy. Seems like they're just kind of slush, and I trust that FSD would handle these perfectly fine. A small thing, we just passed a sign there. It said 60. The car literally saw it. You could see it on the visualization, and it still says max 50, which is a little annoying. I feel like a broken record because I talk about it so often, but FSD is so good, but its speed issues and misunderstanding of the proper speed limit on roads makes it really frustrating to use, because now we're lucky, we're going 63, the conditions aren't great, so it actually kind of works out. But so often my daily interventions with this car are for speed issues. It's either going too fast or too slow. I just cannot wait for the version that fixes speed control. And I'm an idiot. I don't understand how this all works. It feels like it should be the simplest thing to fix. Clearly it's not. I trust that Tesla AI would have solved this issue had it been a simple issue, but I cannot wait for the day that they do fix it, because it's not a safety critical issue, and that's why Tesla can kind of get away with saying there are almost no safety critical issues in version 13. But when every time you go to drive the car, it's making subtle mistakes that embarrass you on the road, it makes it hard to justify FSD. Like if you're having to babysit it so often, it feels a lot less impressive. And again, I'm saying that from a place of, I think FSD is impressive. I just also think that it is annoying that they can't fix such a simple thing. And I hadn't posted in quite a while, almost 2 weeks. So yesterday was the first video I posted in 2 weeks. A lot of that, I kind of mentioned it in the comments and in the description of that video. Because I'm in version 13.2.2 and there is newer versions, I definitely feel a lot less inspired to film content because I know that it won't do as well. I feel like most people, understandably so, are going to watch people like Dirty Tesla, AI Driver that have the latest and greatest FSD version, because generally speaking, that's what people want to see, is the newest and latest version of FSD. So I've hesitated making content just in the fact that I don't think it will perform as well and it feels like a waste, but there was a bunch of you that said you still enjoy the content regardless, and it is true that the version that's out right now, 13.2.6, I don't think is a monumental shift from what 13.2.2 is. So rightfully so, this version is, I guess, just as justifiable to watch. So I will keep making 13.2.2 content for as long as you guys keep watching it, and I appreciate the support on the videos. To talk about the drive, it's handled it perfectly, other than the little bit of speed issue, but it kind of worked out for us. Overall, comfortable, great. I should have shown a shot of it before, but like, it's crazy because there's snow and ice on the road. The back bumper camera was completely unusable before I cleaned it. So that is definitely something to be said. Like, there's no way in this, I mean, you can kind of see it's getting foggy right now, and we've only been driving for 7 kilometers, and the car already is starting to get dirty. I'd say by the end of the driving today, where are we going? It'll be like, I'll have to clean it. So I think it's going to be such an interesting, I've talked about this on a bunch of the videos, I think it's going to be a really interesting landscape for Tesla once they like solve or nearly solve. By the way, we're in standard profile getting onto the highway, and I'll probably just leave it. I might even put it on chill just because the weather's not that great. So we're in chill on the highway. See how it does. I'm assuming we'll just stick here behind the truck. Good job getting onto the highway though. Good job merging. That was all really well done. Yeah, I think Tesla's landscape is going to become very interesting once they do solve full self-driving. I personally, I've talked about it a bunch. I think that there's no way with hardware 4 as it is today that you'll get FSD unsupervised anywhere. Like, I don't know how to explain it. With a camera that can get itself dirty so quickly and can't clean itself, I guess full self-driving unsupervised can work, sure, because it would just say take over, and then you'd have to be ready to take over. But the robotaxi dream of like your Tesla Model 3, your Model Y, being something that anybody can, your car can go work for you for the day, which Tesla has very much spoken about, that's not going to happen with these cars. There's no way. I would bet a lot of money that in climates like this, maybe it'll work in LA, but in climates like this, there's just no way it'll work, because there's no way your car can be out working for you for the day, performing duties as a robotaxi, and then what if mud gets splashed up as you go through a puddle, and just all of a sudden the front camera is occluded, like you cannot see. You're not there to clean it. Nobody potentially is in the car to clean it. Is it just going to stop dead in the middle of the road, the highway? That's where I think the Model Y, the new one, has a front camera cleaner. We almost hit that pothole. Has a front camera cleaner. I'm shocked that they didn't include one for the back as well. I think the front and the back need cleaners for this to even potentially work. But that said, like, the crazy thing, and I'll put a clip of it up, WayMo, who is definitely the like golden child right now in autonomous driving. Like they are the best at what they're doing. Good job, by the way, exiting. We kind of went over the white line as we were getting off the highway, but still fine. WayMo, who is like the best of the best at what they're doing today, they still clearly have issues. I mean, there was the semi-viral video of it going like in circles in a roundabout, which was funny. But then just yesterday, there's a clip of it going through clearly a very stale yellow light, which is kind of fine, whatever. But as it goes through the light, it goes through a massive pothole that any human driver would have either A, avoided, or B, gone through a lot slowly. And it just like charged through a big pothole. If you were in that vehicle, it would have been incredibly uncomfortable. You would have felt like you were in an accident. And that to me just shows the like, I don't know, they have all the sensors and lidar and radar and cameras and software in the world, and that's obviously still a tough solution or problem to solve. Yeah, it's weird. It makes me give a little bit of, what's the word? Like, I feel for Tesla. I feel for every company trying to make this work, because clearly it's hard. Like, if Waymo can't do it with all those sensors, I don't know how Tesla's going to do it with less. But I think that the biggest thing is it comes down to software. And I will say Tesla AI is very good with their software, so I believe that hopefully they can get something fixed. But yeah, I mean, how does the camera not know that both of those, which it just slowed down for, weren't huge potholes? I know that they're manhole covers and that it would be fine, but it's really hard for a camera to see these like shadows and bumps in the road and understand them. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, see, again here, we're slowing down for nothing. We slowed down for that. That's two kind of like phantom brakes. It's been okay. Like, it's slowing down again for this manhole cover. Okay, it's really bad. Fortunately, the person behind us isn't like right behind us, but that's twice that we're like kind of slamming on the brakes for what seemed like manhole covers or like mud that's like across the road. And it's not great. Like, you can't slow down for every manhole cover or every like spot of dirt that's on the road. It's not going to work. Besides that, the drive has been good. Sorry that I've been talking over the whole thing. There's not much to say about the specifics of the drive, so that's why I'm kind of like rambling about other stuff. I mean, ultimately, we're doing a good job. This is fairly straightforward, though. This is just a muddy road. We got somebody crossing the road, so I would either commit, but then I would wait for this pedestrian personally. Okay, really good job. I was worried the car was going to go. It would have been okay, but it's just unnecessarily aggressive to cut off a pedestrian like that, so that's exactly what I would have done, and the car did a good job. But here we're going to see an issue where we're going to hit a 30 zone. It'll hopefully pick it up. It didn't even, so I'm going to have to scroll the wheel back to force us. So we're in a school zone. The car didn't even pick it up. I don't have to disengage. I just have to intervene by scrolling back the wheel. Disengaging and reporting here doesn't make sense. Tesla knows that they don't have school zones figured out, so there's kind of no point in saying anything. Good job here. It's narrow getting in. We waited for that car to get out. So, cool. Okay, we are at our destination. I guess I'll let it try and park, but there's just, I mean, if it, visitor parking would be amazing. No. it missed that. Oh God. Okay, I had to take over. There's like broken up concrete and stuff here, probably from like shovel, like snow plows and stuff that have come through. So I'll park and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, so I'm actually in a different spot because I drove to here with a friend, ended up recording. So starting here, just heading home, 25-minute drive. I did a slightly different route, so I won't be on the highway. The biggest thing, I think, because we're in the snow, I'm gonna do press and hold to start FSD. If it starts, I'm not sure even if it will. It might get a little bit weirded out because it's near snow and whatnot. Yeah, see object and path. We're just on the snow. Like, it should be able to drive. I also think that if it does start going, it might give the red hands. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of throttle. I'll wait till this person goes away. I'm just going to give it a little bit of accelerator to get it out of here. Once this person goes away. Okay. So the car is now doing its own thing. The roads are definitely snowy. We'll see what it does here. Too bad that it can't just start from park like that. I don't know why snow and gravel throws it off so much, but hoping that in a later version that'll get fixed. So yeah, snow tires on the car, but it is slippery. The car is definitely going in the like wrong spot. As a human, you would never drive where this car is. You would be more in the path, but it's okay. Okay, nice job. Really good job there. It actually took that turn very cautiously, which was nice. It was what it needed to do in order to not slip out. I used FSD the other night with my wife, and from a stop sign, it was on a super slick road, and I enabled FSD, and then before we even made it through the intersection, it threw up the like red hands warning. So I know that this version, although it just did a good job right there, it does struggle with snow. It doesn't know how to handle it. So good that it did it right there, but definitely isn't perfect. I'll try to put us in a scenario where you can see that. Okay, four-way stop here. Should come to a full stop. Yep, nice job. As soon as we hit 0, it started going again, which is really, really, really good. Just felt very human-like versus the like come to stop, wait a second, go. Big pothole that it avoided, but okay, there's a person here. I would slow down. It's okay. We had like a person out on the road and a vehicle coming. I guess we got lucky in the fact that that truck was able to move for us, but I would have slowed down there. And it's 3 o'clock. So it is school zone applicable. If we end up in any of those, we're gonna have to scroll down the wheel, which I think is gonna happen right here. So it's recognizing max 50, it's recognizing max 30. And we're slowing right down, I think, for this speed bump though. Let's see. Yeah, so straight away it's going faster than 30, so I'm gonna bring down the wheel. So I just scroll it back to 30 because it is otherwise going to speed in here. And then it's hard. I feel like sometimes it's ambiguous. Like even as a human driver, I'm not certain if we're out of the school zone yet. It feels like we are because we're definitely past what feels like the school zone, but I haven't seen a sign that says it. So I would start going over at 30 now. So I'll scroll it back up to 50. And now we are going too slow. Again, I talk about this exact scenario all the time. It's quite frustrating. I'll leave it because we're going to turn left in a second here, and as soon as we turn left, we'll probably get a new speed limit in which the car will drive a more appropriate speed. Okay, so I would wait for that car and then turn left right now. Perfect. Technically, there was 2 lanes there. Like, we could have turned left with them, but even for me as a human driver, I often wait in a scenario like that, so I don't mind that the car did. And we're in chill right now. I'm actually going to move it to standard because we're just on the roads. I had it in chill for the highway, but... Okay. Should just go. Perfect. And then it's funny, like I talk about it in a lot of my videos where turning right just there, we should have turned right into the right lane, but it took kind of a wide turn, ended up in the left lane, which is technically apparently not illegal, but wrong. So it is strange how sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. And something I was thinking about, obviously it'd be ideal if when it was snowing or raining really heavily to the point that there was water pooled up on the side of the road. I do wish that FSD just knew that. But until that happens, it would be nice if in the driver settings there was, standard, chill, whatever, and then also like a toggle for like snow mode. And again, when I say rain mode, like here in BC, if it rains a lot, when you're on the highway, if you're hugging the like median, or if you're on the city roads, surface roads, and those sides are where like the water pools up, it'd be nice to tell the car basically like, don't drive close to the edges if it's raining hard, and if in the snow, like drive cautiously and slow. Because right now FSD doesn't do either of those things. And so when you're in scenarios where the weather isn't perfect, I feel very like uncomfortable because the car really isn't driving appropriately. And it'd be nice to either be able to tell it to, or for it to. And I don't know which will happen first, but. Okay, pretty sharp corner here. That sign said 30 for like a recommended speed. 47's fine. Like, it's fine because the road just happens to be like just on the cusp of being okay. But this is where I know FSD doesn't, and I would love for it to. We're going 60, 58 in a 50 zone, and that guy's passing us. This is, when people ask about Canadian drivers, the max 40 is wrong, but I'm almost certain this is a 50 road. So we're going 8 over the speed limit, and we got passed on a double yellow. Just so he could be 1 second ahead. That's a kind of to sum up drivers in Canada. Selfish, irresponsible, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's illegal. And what, he's 1 second ahead? It's strange. Okay, object in the road here. The car is not gonna avoid it. Oh. Okay, I had to take over. You can see we're very close to it. it like sort of saw that, but it was still going to hit it. Or if it wasn't, it was going to get, I wasn't going to let it get that close and not move. That's surprising. Like, those vehicles went very obviously around it. It was clearly a thing in the road. See, that's where I think it's bad. Like, I'm going to post this clip on X, and people are going to tell me I was wrong to disengage. But even if the car did see it and had moved enough to get out of the way, it shouldn't do it in such a way that the gap it gives itself is like, it was going to be like this close if it didn't hit. So why would you make the person in the car feel uncomfortable, like they're about to hit something, if they could just move a foot over, and then it's clear that it's not going to hit it? So yeah, for those of you that I'm sure will tell me I was wrong for disengaging, no, the car needs to move out of the way and make the driver and the occupant feel confident in what the vehicle is doing. That I thought I was going to hit. So that's too bad. Not safety critical, but I don't want to mess up my car. So whatever you want to lump that into. I'm curious if it's going to take this same. It's going to be very tight if it does do it. I'd say there's not really enough room. Like, that person in front of us did do it and it worked out, but I wouldn't have comfortably done it as a human, so I'm not mad that the car didn't. I would go into the intersection here so we get through on this green, is the only thing I'll say. So I might give it a pedal press just so we don't end up having to wait a full light. Yeah, so here for sure, like, I think that we should be positioning ourselves way further up. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a pedal press to put it past the crosswalk here. This is where any human driver would sit. People could still go through the crosswalk if there was pedestrians. There's not. And then this way, if it goes yellow, we'll get through on the light. So I'd go, yeah, perfect. Waited exactly as long as I would have. I wasn't confident that that white car was going to actually stop, so. I would maybe go around this guy. Okay, good job. This is a 60 road. We're at 40. I'm hoping when it sees this speed limit that it updates. So max 40, passing a 60. Like, and it's weird. It read that sign. You could have seen it. It read that sign as 40. Like, on the screen, it showed 40 when I looked. So I have no idea where it's getting that from. I'm scrolling this up and putting us in hurry just in the hopes that we do go a bit quicker. Let's see what it does here. So if you look on the map here, it'll actually like visualize it. So this is being visualized as a 60, and now we're in a 60 zone. And I know people talk about like what the car visualizes here and what it actually sees and reacts on are different. Like, this visualization is not necessarily indicative of what the car is like taking in. But to me, it's surprising that it's visualizing a 60 sign as a 40. And yeah, very strange. Like, it's not like the sign was muddy and the cameras are all fairly clean. I did end up cleaning the back one. And so on the earnings call, the Tesla earnings call, Elon was saying that version 13 is nearly perfect and that pretty much all interventions and disengagements are non-safety critical. There's a few people that have kind of like called them out on that because like, could I have done this whole drive without intervening or disengaging? Perhaps. I'm trying to think on my drive this morning. So, I mean, technically I didn't need to take over to not hit that pole. The car would have survived and it wouldn't have been a safety issue, but the car would have got damaged. And technically I didn't need to scroll back the wheel so I wasn't speeding in the school zones, but that would have been illegal. And technically I didn't need to scroll up the wheel because it was going under the speed limit on a regular road. It just would have been annoying. So it just seemed a little disingenuous for Elon to say that version 13 is nearly perfect and there is almost no issues. Because yeah, maybe the car isn't making like mistakes that are dangerous, but if you're not fitting in on the road, that is dangerous, just in a different way. And also that is just annoying. Like nobody's going to want to get in a robotaxi that doesn't know how to drive properly. So it seems strange to almost write off the fact that it still is incapable of making all these little decisions properly. Like these are all still, albeit small mistakes, these are still big mistakes. Like in the grand scheme of like the drive needs to be comfortable. We need to be going the appropriate speed limit. We need to not hit things on the road. We need to avoid potholes. Oh, I'll try and remember. I meant to do it on my other video. I'll show you guys what happens when you fall asleep. I can emulate that by just on the back road here. If there's nobody coming, I'll put my head to the side, close one of my eyes, but I'll be able to still see with this eye. Very safe, but the camera will just think my eyes are closed. It'll end up being a strikeout, and you'll see the car doesn't do anything other than just stop. It doesn't pull over. It just does that red hands, and then we'll disable FSD. Personally, I think that if the car thinks that you've gone unconscious or anything, that it should pull over to the side for you. Stopping in the middle of the road isn't, I don't think, a good idea always, especially if you're on a highway or any sort of a fast-moving road. Like, if you're asleep if you've fallen asleep at the wheel, the car should go and park you somewhere, and then probably make an emergency call, or do something more to wake you up. Just putting the brakes on and putting the car in park on a roadway is, in my opinion, not the right way to do it, but okay, turning left here. Would I go? No, I would wait. Okay, I might end up just taking over if this car follows us, so that I can have nobody behind if we do the driver unconscious thing. Okay, we're slowing down for this guy out in the middle of the road, which is nice. I appreciate that. Okay, so what's this person gonna do? Oh. Okay, so we're on the road. We got nobody behind us. I'm gonna scroll back the wheel just so we're not going as quick. The same thing is gonna happen, but I'm gonna put us at 30. Hope this truck doesn't come. So is the truck coming? Shit. Okay, that vehicle's coming. I cannot show you what it's gonna do on this road. It's just not responsible with a vehicle like right behind us. So I'll do it on the next one. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, this is the end of the drive. Not that exciting. Few things. Definitely shows you how the car handles snow for the most part. I didn't get a chance to do it the red hand, because all these roads that weren't plowed are now plowed, so there's no like slippery roads for me to put the car on. But